When people can reach you at any moment, they may slowly stop noticing the cost of your time. Access without limits can turn into expectation. You reply fast. You adjust first. You make room before anyone has even earned it. At first, it looks like kindness. Then it becomes a pattern. Your presence stops feeling valuable. This is the moment most people miss. Respect does not always disappear loudly. Sometimes, it leaves through an open door. The hidden pattern is simple. People value what has weight. They become careless with what has no limit. When your time is always open, your presence becomes easy to assume. Not because people are evil, not because you should become cold, but because access teaches expectation. If you are always available, people may stop asking if you have. They do not hear the sacrifice behind your yes. They only see the convenience. That is where the shift begins. You think you are showing care. They may begin seeing certainty. You think you are being loyal. They may begin seeing unlimited access. You think you are being patient. They may begin seeing a person who can wait forever. Picture this. Someone messages you at night. You are tired. You have your own work, your own plans, your own problems. But you answer immediately. Then they disappear. The next day, they return when they need something again. Soon, they do not see your reply as effort. They see it as normal. This is not about blaming them. It is about noticing what your behavior trained them to expect. A golden door that never closes stops looking royal. It starts looking public. And once your access feels public, your value becomes easier to ignore. But here's the part most people miss. The solution is not drama. It is not anger, disappearing to punish people. It is learning when the door should stay half closed. Most people lose value because they confuse availability with goodness. They think being there all the time proves they are loyal. They think fast replies prove they care. They think adjusting every plan makes them easy to love. But in many situations, this creates the opposite effect. It removes the signal that your time matters. It removes the boundary. A boundary is not a wall built from bitterness. It is a line that protects what matters. Modern psychology describes boundaries as limits that protect personal integrity and help people set realistic limits in relationships. In simple words, boundaries show where your life begins and where someone else's access ends. Without that line, people may not know what your time costs. They may not know what drains you. They may not know what you are sacrificing, because you never made the limit visible. This is where control quietly slips away. But because you gave access before you gave standards. You said yes, before checking yourself. You replied before thinking. You adjusted before asking whether the request deserved that much space. And slowly, the relationship becomes unbalanced. One person expects, the other person absorbs. One person asks, the other person rearranges. One person enters the door whenever they want. The other person keeps holding the key out. This is how attention loses weight. This is how presence loses value. The danger is not helping people. The danger is helping in a way that teaches them your limits do not exist. In strategic terms, reputation is protection. Machiavelli understood this in the world of power. In The Prince, his concern was not modern friendship or messages. His concern was rule, authority, and survival. But one principle still matters. A person must avoid becoming contemptible. That does not mean becoming cruel. It does not mean becoming feared in every room. It means avoiding behavior that makes your presence look cheap, weak, or easy to dismiss. This reflects a Machiavellian idea. Power is not only what you say. It is how you are perceived. If people see you as someone with no limits, they may handle you without care. If they see your time as endlessly open, they may stop treating it as valuable. If they can enter your life whenever they want, they may forget that access is a privilege. This is why access control matters. Not as manipulation, as reputation protection. A person with no gate becomes easy to enter. A person with no pause becomes easy to schedule around. A person with no standard becomes easy to take for granted. Not with revenge. Not with cold behavior. Not with pretending you do not care. Strategy begins when your actions stop announcing that anyone can reach you at any time. You do not need to explain the gate. You do not need to perform distance. You simply stop handing out the key to every person who knocks. There is a difference between being kind and being constantly open. Kindness has dignity. Over-availability often has fear inside it. Fear of disappointing people, fear of being disliked, fear of losing access to someone else. But if your access to them requires losing access to yourself, this is the reframe. You are not becoming unavailable. You are becoming intentional. The power shift begins when you stop treating every request like an emergency. Not every message needs instant access. Not every invitation needs your adjustment. Not every emotional demand deserves your full attention at once. Pause first. That pause is not rude. It is the space where self-respect returns. Before you answer, ask yourself one thing. Am I responding from choice or from fear? If it is choice, move calmly. If it is fear, slow down. Second, stop rewarding urgency that does not respect you. Some people create pressure because it works. They send the message, they push the timing. They expect you to move. And because you moved before, they expect you to move again. The shift is simple. Do not match every urgency with your availability. You can say, I will get back to you later. You can say, I cannot do that today. You can say, I need time before I decide. Short, calm. No drawing meaning. If you say yes to everything, your yes loses shape. People cannot tell what matters to you. They cannot see what costs you energy. A stronger yes comes from a person who can also say no. Fourth, protect your quiet hours. Every serious person needs closed-door time. Time where no one has immediate access to your mind. Time where you are not proving loyalty. Time where you return to yourself. This is not selfish. It is maintenance. A person without private space becomes mentally crowded. And crowded people are easier to pull, pressure, and drain. Fifth, stop announcing every boundary. Some limits are shown through behavior. You reply later. You do not over-adjust. You do not chase the conversation when the energy is one-sided. You do not punish. You do not complain. You simply stop keeping the door wide open. This is where the shift happens. People do not only hear your standards. They observe them at work. Over-availability can look professional at first. You answer every message fast. You accept every extra task. You stay late because you want to be seen as reliable. But soon, reliability can turn into default access. People begin bringing you work at the last minute. They assume you will fix what others delayed. The wrong response is silent resentment. You keep saying yes while becoming colder inside. The strategic response is calm structure. You say, I can handle this tomorrow morning. You say, I already have priorities today. You say, send me the details, and I will review them during my work block. No anger. No speech. No emotional performance. You are not refusing responsibility. You are refusing unlimited access. In a social group, over-availability looks different. You are the one who always adjusts, the one who changes plans, the one who waits, the one who makes things easy. At first, people like this. Then they choose the place. They choose the time. They assume you will fit yourself around them. The wrong response is to explode after months of silence. That makes the issue look sudden. The strategic response is early. Calm correction. You say, that time does not work for me. You say, I will join if the plan changes. You say, I am not available tonight. Then you let the sentence stand. No guilt, no extra paragraphs, no desperate softness. A boundary does not need decoration. In a friendship or relationship, over-availability can become emotional over-functioning. You are always listening, always solving, always making space for their storms. But when you need space, the room feels smaller. The wrong response is to measure love by exhaustion. You think, if I give more, they will value me more. But giving more without limits may only teach them to receive more without noticing. The strategic response is honest and calm. You say, I care about this, but I do not have the capacity tonight. You say, I want to listen properly. Not while I am drained. You say, Let us talk tomorrow when I can be present. That is not abandonment. That is mature access. Online. The pattern becomes even faster. Messages create the illusion that everyone deserves instant entry. A notification appears. Your body reacts. You feel pulled. The wrong response is living as if every message owns you. The strategic response is to create delay by design. Turn off the instant doorway. Check messages at chosen times. Let people experience your absence without turning it into a performance. You are not trying to make them worry. You are teaching your nervous system that access to you is not controlled by a screen. The goal is not to become hard to love. The goal is to stop being easy to use. There is a difference. A person with healthy access can still be warm. Still loyal, still generous. But their generosity has structure. Their time has a gate. Their presence has value. They do not rush to be chosen. They do not open every door they do not confuse pressure with importance. This is the identity shift. You move from automatic to intentional. From available by fear to available by choice. From being constantly reachable to being calmly selective. People may need time to adjust. Some will respect it. Some will resist it. That resistance does not mean your boundary is wrong. It may mean the old access benefited them. Stay calm. No lectures, no punishment, no dramatic withdrawal. Just a quieter standard. The half-closed door is not hatred. It is self-respect. The red key is not a weapon. It is a reminder. Not everyone earns the same access to you. Pause. And when access has value, presence becomes meaningful again. If you want the next strategy, watch the next video on how weak boundaries quietly damage your reputation. Because the first loss is not always respect. Sometimes, it is the standard you stopped protecting.